It doesn't make sense to work hard and save all your money so you can go ski when you're 80s. You're not going to have the health to enjoy, or you're going to be so limited by your body, by your age, that you're not going to have a full experience. Same thing with your kids. Why are you going to skip their graduation or their, weekend game to work to save more money? Because those days never going to come back.
Welcome to No Strings Attached, the place where we untangle honest conversations about business, reinvention, and the pursuit of the American dream. Hosted by Roger Magalhaes, Brazilian-born, Boston-bred, Florida-based. He is an entrepreneur, speaker, and storyteller with 20 years of real stories, laughs, and screw-ups. This show is for anyone still searching for their place under the sun. So pull up a chair. The show is about to start. Here's Roger with No Strings Attached.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another show of No Strings Attached. My name is Roger Magalhaes, and I am your host. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. But if you have been here before, welcome back. Today, it's going to be a personal story. But before I get to it, I want to go back in time and just recap what is this show about. So back in 2020, I started trading up to help the industry, sharing my knowledge, helping other installers and dealers to develop a network of installers, help with expertise through articles to classes. And that's really how I created the podcast, to be more focused to the industry. Then I started writing a book about the 20-year anniversary of my company, Shades in Place. And I wrote Nobody Told Me That, which is this book here. It's going to launch next month. But the whole thing was, as I had people read the book, I had so many comments and so many compliments and so much feedback that some of the feedbacks were like, this is great for business, but also great for personal. You share a lot of insights from your home country, Brazil, and you put those to work here in the US. That I start wondering if I should expand the podcast. And then I changed the name from Trading Secrets Broadcast to No Strings Attached. And the intention with the name, obviously, it play words with, the industry, but also to open up discussions and open up the topics. So I didn't have to be super specific about trades, about window treatments alone. And that's why it became No Strings Attached. And also, I expanded from window coverings alone to small businesses. And the reason is everyone has struggles, everyone has challenges, regardless which industry you are part of. We all go through problems with employees, problems with cash flow, problems with sales. So it's a universal language talking to small homeowners. You can shift from window treatments to accounting to marketing. It's basically the same elements, the same struggles. So I feel very confident talking about any issue because regardless of the industry, everybody get it. Everyone resonates with the same issues. So this past weekend, I just posted on my personal blog about the 80 years birthday of my mom. So I flew to Brazil, spent time with her, and then I wrote her entire journey since she was a kid all the way to her 80th birthday. And it's basically like this. She had a really rough um, young years. She was born into a broken home. She was beaten frequently by her mother. She only met her father once, and it was not a good one. So she had a really rough early days growing up. Then, when she was a teenager, she decided to move away. So she hopped on her cousin's truck and drove and rode 3,000 miles to Sao Paulo, pretty much from the northeast Brazil all the way down to Sao Paulo, in hope to find a better life. But she never went to school. She only had 3 years of formal education, which in theory doesn't give you a lot, but life compensated with a lot. Street smart, and my mom had a really, really sharp mind and the way she viewed the world. So she was very smart, but because she didn't have a lot of education, she couldn't really advance much in jobs. So it was basically labor intensive jobs that she always had in her life. As a matter of fact, she was a seamstress at one point. But, life goes on. She had to learn how to manage money to make a stretch as far as he can because she depends on it. Eventually, she met my father. They married. Somehow, it was a perfectly mismatch that held together for over 40 years. Between those 40 years, I was born, my sister was born, and my mom pretty much lived for us. Unconditional love, did everything she could to just keep us together. As I grew older, I realized she was working her ass off way more than she should. She should have a little more help from my father. And unfortunately, this created a lot of tensions at my house. I grew distance from my father because I was always closer to my mom. So then, when I was 26, I moved out and I moved to the US. And then, because of this gap, because this distance that was created, I started seeing my mom slightly different. I still appreciate everything. I still loved everything she did and still do for us. I love her smartness. I love how she handle money. She's very frugal. But those things starting looking slightly different to me now. So I wish she was giving permission to herself to enjoy life a little more. But she was always tight with money. She was always worried about giving her best to us. She was also very risk averse, perhaps because nobody ever looked out for her and she had to protect herself somehow. So, for that reason, she was always on the safe side, never really pushed the envelope too hard, and life went on. Hey there, Roger here. Just a quick note. This episode is brought to you by blindsonline.com. If you've been thinking about new window treatments, I want you to check them out. I am a partner there, and I can tell you firsthand, the quality, the selection, and the service are the real deal. Listen, over 5,000 five-star reviews don't lie. Whether you are a homeowner or a trade professional, blindsonline.com has you covered. Easy process and affordable prices. And because you are supporting the show here, I want to support you as well. Use coupon code podcast at the checkout and you get 10% off of your order. There's a link in the show notes. And by the way, if you're getting value from the show, do me a big favor and share this with someone who needs to hear. Word of mouth is everything to me, and you know it. And I really appreciate your support. Now, back to the show. So one day I'm visiting from the US. In her kitchen, she's doing dishes. I'm just leaning against the wall, half in joking. I said, "Hey, mom, you don't need to worry about things anymore. We're rich already." And what I really meant was, I save enough that I can take care of you. I can take you on a trip here and there. We're good. So don't worry about money anymore. So she shut off the faucet, turned to me, and without any resentments or kind of feeling bad or anything, she just said, "We might have some money now, but I don't have the health anymore." And that was really a bomb dropping right on top of my head. So, what was the whole idea, the whole purpose of working hard, working too much, giving up any enjoyment just to go on with your life? So that day really changed something in me. I still work hard, but then why am I gonna save all of this money for someday? And maybe the someday never gonna come. Or if it come, it might come with a price that won't allow me to enjoy as much as I wish I was enjoying it. So that day, that conversation really lit up a light bulb in my head. And I say, you know what? I'm still going to work. I'm still going to do everything I can. But at the same time, I'm going to start enjoying life more. And that's exactly what I did. So I start traveling more. I'm not going to wait until I get to the certain point to make a trip. If I can get to do a trip or can get to go to a place, I'm just gonna do it. And that's basically what I had in my message. I flew to Brazil to celebrate with her for her 80th birthday. We couldn't do a big party because my mom is so debilitated, so underweight, so fragile at this point. It's basically, it was a 15-minute ride to a local restaurant just to pretend with having a party or something like that. Also, my mom is her early stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. She started talking and kind of stopped mid sentence just because she can't keep the thoughts. It's very heartbreaking seeing all of that and seeing that she never enjoyed life in order to live for me, for my sister, and just to put food on the table. So, my idea with this show today is just to put a little seed in your mind. Perhaps you're working too hard. Perhaps you're just saving for retirement. It's all valid. Don't get me wrong. We all need the the plan for tomorrow in case something goes bad, or you need to plan today so you don't need to work as hard tomorrow. But don't save everything. Enjoy the life today. Enjoy the opportunities that may come today or tomorrow. Don't just skip everything. There's a book called Die with Zero, and I read that book 3 times. After I had that conversation with my mom, I was talking to someone and someone mentioned that book. So I read it 3 times and did change my life on top of the original conversation with my mom. So, for example, it doesn't make sense to work hard and save all your money so you can go ski when you're 80s. You're not going to have the health to enjoy, or you're going to be so limited by your body, by your age, that you're not going to have a full experience. Same thing with your kids. Why are you going to skip their graduation or their, weekend game to work to save more money? Because those days never going to come back. So that's my message for today. Enjoy life a little more. Skip work here and there. Enjoy while you can, because tomorrow is just a promise. It is never really a certain that it's going to happen. We just hope it's going to end it up the way we want it, but we don't know that. We see people that die early. We see people who stay in bed for years before they go. My father was in bed for 8 years before he finally passed. So at that point, it was a blessing, but it was a big suffering for the entire family. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you learned something from it. Enjoy while you can before we all have an expiration date. We just don't know when it's going to happen. I'll see you next week. Take care. Enjoy your life.
And that's a wrap for today. Hope you're leaving with something that sticks. If this episode resonated, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. For more information, follow Roger at rogermagalhaes.com and find the link in the show notes for a free chapter of his book, Nobody Told Me That. We'll see you next Sunday with no strings attached.